So I got a little, well, it's a job, but it's somebody else's project that I'm going to be working on. And I'm going to show it to you and tell you what I'm going to do, which is going to be completely experimental. I have never done it. I can't find anybody who has done it. So if I do it, I'll be the first. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. So this is a 54 Chevy 5-window, a 3100 of course, and the frame from the back half to right there, as you can see, is all 54 Chevy except for the Camaro rear end. So I believe that's an 80 Camaro, considering the front subframe they welded to it is an 80 Camaro subframe. Now here is the problem. They did a good job welding it on, of course. I mean, it could use some more welds, and you know, it's a subframe, so it ain't the best thing in the world. They should have thought it out more. This is an 80 Camaro, which means here is the gearbox spot. Now, the problem is when you put the front end of the 54 back on, it hits the core support right there, which means you have to cut your core support, or as we're going to attempt to do, we're going to try to put rack and pinion on it. Not that rack and pinion. That's off of a 93 Camaro. Won't work. That is an ETO, which is an end takeoff. Same thing you find on Mustangs, Camaros, yada yada yada. Oh wow, look at there, a tick right in my hand. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to try to put a CTO, which is a center takeoff. Look at that. God, I hate them ticks. Just got one off my arm. It's been there for like a second, bleeding already. But let's go in here and I will kill this tick. But what we got over here is the center takeoff style rack. Now these can only be found on 82 through 86 Cavaliers, and this one actually came off of a 91 Sunbird. I know, a Sunbird out of everything. But what I'm going to attempt to do is put that on there, which, I mean, you can't fail unless you try. Look at that, I killed him. He's on there burning right now in that hot metal. So let's turn around here and look at my board. Okay, the way the angle is racked, or where the way the rack is angled, sorry, the angle is racked. The rack is angled. It's basically an up and down from the bolts. So let me back up here. Focus. Focus. Here it goes. Okay, so there it's straight up and down. So here's where your steering shaft goes, and here's where your inner and outer tie rods bolt. So I found that if I put it on like this, facing the steering shaft here, the bolts will be back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a spacer and a plate that's going to go on here. Here will be the bolts, here's the spacer, there's the plate, and I'm going to make the plate flip around, and I have to make another plate to either put here, or it might even be down here, so it could be there, or it could be like that. So, and then that is where your outer or your inner tie rods will go. Now, let me see if I can't find this cap I just dropped. Found it. Show you these tie rods on this thing. They're over here. Here are the tie rods. As you can see, they're very thick, but they're blown out too. And them ends do not fit in the small 80 Camaro holes that we have here. And they come in from the bottom, of course. But these ones do not fit. As you can see, not at all. They have to be really small. So I'm gonna have to find a tie rod that'll fit in that hole also. But where we have to mount it is going to be up in this area and down, because we have to get down probably about as low as that is, which is pretty low. So the rack's going to be here, but it's going to be like right here in the front. And then I have that plate will swoop around and it'll come off here to each one of the outers. So if I got 11 degrees out here. Okay. So I've already started a little bit. Here is my spacer, which is still a million bajillion degrees. I literally just welded this, and it goes on there to space out where the bolts go. Let me cool this down. My little quench tank for my bench grinder. And so I use like, these are the stock washers that are on here. Gonna have to hit that with a wire wheel a little bit. But I welded those on there and a spacer. And that goes on to the rack as a like a support for these bolts. So that way, even if like one bolt was to break by somehow, okay. You see, it's actually got a spot for them because the rubber or the boot, the plastic boot, actually holds them. But there we go. There we go. And of course I had to tack that while it was on there, hoping it didn't burn that boot. But as you can see now, how it is, spaces it, pushes it apart, and gives it really like a lot of strength on them bolts. Now the plate's gonna come off here and go backwards and wrap around. I'm gonna put some gussets on the plate for sure to make sure it's strong. And I thought I was gonna have to make it really wide because I thought the Camaro was a lot wider, but it's not. So I'm gonna have to make it just about like that straight back. So I'm gonna have to put a lot of braces on there and make sure it's strong. But that's what I'm doing right now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start working on the mounts to mount it to the frame. As you can see, here is how it goes. It goes like every other one, but I mean it's gonna be like that. These I have to make sure don't hit the sway bar and everything, which I still need them mounts. So I'm going to try to get a hold of the owner, see if I can't get him to get them mounts tonight so I can have them tomorrow, even though it's supposed to rain for like a week straight. Kentucky weather, man. But a lot of stuff I got to do, a lot of stuff. That's basically done right there. Now I just got to move on to mounting the whole rack itself. I'll cut you back on when I start working. Actually, you know what I'm going to show you beforehand. These are the little like mock-ups I made where, I believe this is the passenger side. Here's the passenger side one. I'm thinking to mount it on the frame right there and bolt it on so that way it's easily removable. And be like, put that on there. Whatever angle it's got to be at. Driver's side the same way, which I believe it's got to go further out now than what I had it. I thought it was going to be further in. It's probably going to have to come further out and further down on both of them. But I went and bought some wicked big steel plates out here. That plate, you've probably seen it in the video. 5/16. It's probably bulletproof. That's what the mounts are going to be made out of. So I'm probably gonna have to make a custom steering shaft. Got some more plate over here and some channel for the mounts. I was gonna get some rectangular square tubing, but the place where I buy my metal at didn't have any. Come on, focus. Don't I have auto smart focus on? But you know, these are both 5/16 thick plates. It's a little bit bigger than 3/4 inch, a little bit smaller than 3/8. It's a 16th smaller than 3/8, 16th bigger than a quarter. And I bought this C channel for the mounts, which I was going to use square, so now I'm going to have to sit back and think about how to use this, because it needs to be in an angle. Well, I guess really just angle cut it and it'll be good to go. But that's what I'm working on, and we'll be jumping back at it, you know, showing you the progress once I get the mounts made. If I get the mounts made. I'm pretty sure it's when, but when I get the mounts made. And if it works, I'll be the first, the best. Only here, only by me. The only one on earth who can do it. I usually get the crap jobs that nobody else wants to do because it can't be done. There is since it's an 80 Camaro clip, there is an 80 Camaro conversion kit, but it's $1,700. No, that's too high. It is cool. I mean, you can adjust it anywhere, any way you want to, but nobody wants to spend $1,700 on, well, I hope it's not a rat rod. It's not planning to be a rat rod. It's planning to be, he's probably going to LS swap it, which I'm trying to talk him into. So it'll be like Christine back there, 5.3, but I'll see how much power he wants down to the ground first. Mine's not going to be much, but that's about it. Thanks for watching. When you see this, it'll probably be done. If it gets done. If it fails, I'll be putting, you know, maybe fail in the comments, but that's where we're at right now. Thanks for watching.